Good afternoon, all. We have started discussing our third chapter, atoms and molecules, in our last class, right? How many of you remember the topics that we have discussed in our last class? Which was the topic that we have discussed? It was the laws of chemical combination, right? Laws of chemical combination proposed by Lavoisier. Am I right? And we need to discuss, we need to learn two laws under this laws of chemical combination. First one we had already discussed in our previous class. It was law of conservation of mass. What was that? What is law of conservation of mass? Law of conservation of mass says that mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction, right? Mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. Am I right? Yes. Now or today we are going to discuss another law which comes under this laws of chemical combination, that is law of constant proportion. Second law under laws of chemical combination, law of constant proportion. Shall we discuss it? After the discovery of elements and compounds, Lavoisier and other scientists noticed that when we have taken a compound which are composed of elements, right? Elements are combined to form compounds, and those elements which are combined to form a compound are combined in a ratio of fixed mass. Okay, the elements which are combined to form a compound are combined in a fixed ratio by mass to form a particular compound. Let us discuss the same using an example. Okay, just consider H2O, the molecule H2O. We know that the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 and the oxygen atomic mass is 16, right? Atomic mass is 16. And how many hydrogen atoms are here? 2 hydrogen atoms, right? 2 hydrogen atoms are. So the total mass of hydrogen will be 2 here, right? 2. And what is the mass of oxygen here? What is the mass of oxygen? Only one oxygen atom is there, right? Mass of oxygen is 16. Okay, so whenever we have a sample of water, we have taken a sample of water, it was combined, it was formed by the combination of hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio 2:16 by mass. Whenever we have taken a sample of water which was composed of hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio 2:16 by mass, or we can say 1:8. That is, hydrogen and oxygen are combined in the ratio 1:8 by mass to form the particular compound H2O. For example, if you have a 9 gram water, okay, 9 gram water with you, just consider you have 9 gram water which consists of 1 gram hydrogen, 1 gram hydrogen and 8 gram oxygen. It will be there, it will be present. Okay, if you have 9 gram water with you, it consists of 1 gram hydrogen will be there, 1 gram hydrogen will be there, and 8 gram oxygen, because in water hydrogen and oxygen are combined in the fixed ratio 1:8 by mass. Okay, another one, just consider you have 900 or 90 gram water, 90 gram water. Okay, it will contain 10 gram of hydrogen and 80 gram of what? So oxygen, 80 gram of oxygen. So if elements hydrogen and oxygen are combined in the ratio 1:8, there will be the compound water formed, or H2O will be formed. Okay, if elements are combined, if hydrogen and oxygen are combined in the ratio 1:8 by mass, then the compound water will be formed. Okay, so for a compound to form, the elements are combined in a fixed ratio by mass. Let us consider one more example, another one example. This is H2O2, hydrogen peroxide, another compound. Okay, it is not water. It is formed of hydrogen and oxygen, but it is not water because this compound consists of two hydrogen, right? Two hydrogen and two oxygen. H2O2, hydrogen peroxide. This compound is known as hydrogen peroxide. Okay. Now, if what is the mass of hydrogen in this compound? It is 2, right? Two hydrogen atoms are there. 2 atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. 2 into 2, 1. And what is the mass of oxygen here? 2 oxygen atoms are there. So 2 into 16, that will be equal to 32. Am I right? 32. So if hydrogen and oxygen are combined in this ratio, it will form hydrogen peroxide, not water. If hydrogen and oxygen are combined in this ratio by mass, then the compound formed will be hydrogen peroxide, not water. Or we can say 1:16. If hydrogen and oxygen are combined in the ratio 1:16 by mass, then the compound formed will be hydrogen peroxide, not water. Have you understood? So, for a compound to be formed, the elements are always combined in a definite ratio by mass. Okay, let us discuss one more example. Ammonia, NH3, ammonia. Atomic mass of ammonia. Do you know the atomic mass of ammonia? Ammonia has the atomic mass 14. Okay, and we know the atomic mass of hydrogen, it is 1, right? So we know the atomic mass of, or the mass of nitrogen in this compound is 14, right? And the mass of what? How many hydrogen atoms are there? 3 hydrogen atoms. The mass of hydrogen atom in this compound will be 3, right? So nitrogen and hydrogen are combined in this ratio. What compound will be formed? If they are combined in this ratio 14:3, then the compound will be ammonia. If nitrogen and hydrogen are combined in the ratio 14:3 by mass, then the compound formed will be ammonia. So for every compound, the elements are combined in a fixed ratio by mass. Okay, elements are always combined in a fixed ratio by mass. Understood? And that's what the law says, law of constant proportion. For a given compound to be formed, the elements are always combined in a definite ratio by mass. Elements are combined in a definite ratio by mass. Law of constant proportion. Have you understood? So that was the two laws of chemical combination. First one was law of conservation of mass, and second one is law of constant proportion, right? Okay. And law of constant proportion was stated by the scientist Joseph Priest. Okay, Joseph Priest. And okay, now we have to discuss another important theory proposed by a scientist named John Dalton. Okay, John Dalton's atomic theory. He has given the basis for all the atomic theories. Okay, let's discuss what was the concept put forward by John Dalton in 18th during 18th century. Okay, John Dalton is the first person who have given an idea about atom based on scientific experiment or based on scientific evidence. Okay, according to John Dalton, all the matter is made up of tiny particle which is indivisible. Okay, and he called those indivisible particles as atom. Okay, he called the indivisible particle that make up all the substances as atom. Okay, and it was came from a origined from a Greek word atomos. Okay, which means atomos, which means indivisible. This word atom originated from Greek word atomos. Okay, and what was the meaning of this word? Indivisible. So, according to John Dalton, all the matter is made up of tiny particles called atom. Okay, and there was some postulates, important postulates in his atomic theory that will be discussed in our next class. Okay, we'll start discussing the postulates of atomic theory in our next class, but before that you have to write some notes. Please write the following notes.